Welcome to this tutorial. My name is Ian and I will be taking you through this tutorial. So far in the series of tutorials on Excel Copilot, we've covered quite a bit. We've looked at sorting, filtering, we've looked at highlighting, also looked at some analysis. In this tutorial, we're going to be looking at how we can get Excel Copilot to help us with formulas. Now, obviously in Excel, we've got a huge range of different formulas that you could use. So this is one really where you can experiment, where you can really try some different questions. I'm going to be using some date fields. I'm going to be looking at our date and just really looking at how we can break that up. How we can use the year function or the month function, the weekday function, and get some results used there. But please try with some different experimentation on your own. As always, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Keep up to date with our latest tutorials. But let's jump into the tutorial. I will see you there. Welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to continue to look at our Excel Copilot. So far we've already looked at some of the features of Excel Copilot. So if you haven't seen those tutorials, please make sure that you get a chance to review them. So far we've looked at highlighting, we've looked at our sort and filter, and we've looked at our analyze. In this tutorial, I want to start looking at some formula columns. So just seeing how Excel Copilot can help us with our formulas. Now obviously in Excel there's such a wide range of formulas that we could be doing, it's difficult to know exactly which formulas we should be focusing on. So really the idea of this tutorial is just to give you some examples and really leave it up to you to play around and actually have a chance to see which formulas would work for you. Now in this case, I'm just going to actually be doing some dates. So basically we're going to start just seeing what would happen if we wanted to take this order date that we've got and we wanted to start creating some new fields. And from the new fields, we wanted to take elements of that date. Let's say we wanted to know what was the year, what was the month, maybe even what the month name was. Maybe we wanted to know the weekday or even the weekday name. So let's have a look and see if Excel Copilot is going to be able to help us when it comes to inserting new fields that's got that information. Okay, so just remember when you're working with your Excel Copilot, you do have to have your data in a table. So make sure that you've formatted as a table and basically you've used one of these options and that your data itself is actually nicely formatted as well. As you've probably already seen, if you've used Excel Copilot, down in the corner is where we ask a question and we're really making a request of it to see what we can do. And we just put this as a simple question. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say that we're going to create a new field and we want it to be the year and we want it to use the order date as the field that it's going to use. So let's just tell it we're going to create a new field for year. And we're going to tell it we're going to use from the order date. Okay, so let's start with that. Create a new field for year from order date, and let's send that. Now, as we have mentioned in previous tutorials, sometimes some of this can take quite a while. So we may have sped up the video a little bit when it's busy doing its analysis. But what it's done, and let's just go up a little bit. So basically it's said that we've got a formula and we can review this. And it's saying that we're going to say that it's going to use equals year of the order date. And if you don't know the syntax, that's basically how the order date is shown from a table. So it basically uses the syntax where you've got square brackets, which showing you that it's a field, you use the @ sign, and basically that's what it's doing there. So it does give you an option to explain the formula, so if you want to go through those details. Now in this case though, I'm quite happy with that. That would be the formula that I would use for this. So I'm going to tell it to insert the column. So we'll add the column and you can see now that on my table, I now have the year. So that was successful. Let's continue. Let's say for example, we now wanted to know what was the month number. So let's continue and say create a field for the month number from the order date. And we'll add that in there. Okay, so there we go. Now we've got the suggestion of equal month again of it. And again, this would be the one that I would use. So I will insert that. So we've now got two of the columns. Let's give it something a little bit more difficult to do. Let's say we actually want to know what is the month name. So let's see if it can do that. Let's say create a field from the order date for the month name. Okay, so let's submit that. Okay, so we do have a suggestion for a formula, and what it's done is it's used something called the choose, and basically it's now saying that it would choose that. Now, personally, that's probably not the formula that I would use for this, but let's insert the column anyway, and we will get the correct result here. But as I say, it wouldn't necessarily be the formula I would have used to get that. But the point is, we've actually got the right result. So that was quite successful. Okay, we could continue with this as well. So we could just say that we wanted to know what is the weekday name or the weekday number. Let's actually just do the weekday name. So obviously on the order date, it happened on a specific day of the week. Let's see if we can get the name of the weekday. So let's just tell it to create a field from order date for the weekday name. Okay, so we're going to submit that, and again, it's going to go to work on it. And again, it's gone the same route it did with the naming of the month. Let's just move across a bit to use the equals choose. Again, it wouldn't be the one I would use, but again, we do have a successful result in terms of being able to use that. So there we go. There's just some examples of being able to pull out the different aspects from the date and give us new fields that we could use as part of our analysis. So basically, once we've got this information now, maybe I might want to actually understand by weekday name what is the total sales, maybe for a specific year. Now, this would be something that we did cover in, say, Analyze, but let's have a look and see if it's going to be able to answer that for us. So let's say, what is the total sales? And let's say it's by weekday name. And let's just say for the year, because now we've got the year field as well. Let's look there, 2020, for example. Okay, so what is the total sales by weekday name for the year 2020? Let's see if we can get some analysis on that now that we've got those new fields to work with. And there we go. That looks like it's been successful. So we've now got a bar chart. And as we saw in the previous analysis tutorial, it gives us a review now. It's telling us what the Monday sales were, what the Tuesday sales were. And then also if we look at this graph, let's actually add the sheet just to have a look at that. And you'll remember this from the previous tutorial. It's basically created a pivot table for me. And you can see I've got my weekday name there. I've got my total sum of sales. Also, it's filtered it just for the year 2020. And it's actually created a graph now showing me that by far Monday is the day with the most sales. And then Thursdays follows by Friday. We might want to do some sorting on this just to get it in the right chronological order. But for now, it does give me the data I'm looking for. So there we go. There's some examples of using the Copilot just to be able to analyze the data that we've used in terms of creating it from the formula suggestions. We're going to conclude the tutorial there. I hope to see you in the next one.